Hello everybody, my name is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney. I'm based in Arlington, Virginia, but my clients are all throughout the United States and abroad, and we help clients with all types of immigration questions, all types of immigration issues. I'm here live so you can ask me questions. We'll start off with some questions that we get regularly, but feel free to say hi if you've never joined me before. Tell me where you're from, and feel free to type your questions in there and I'll do my best to answer them. Again, my name is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration lawyer. I have a firm called Agarwal Law Group, and we're based in Arlington, Virginia, near Washington, D.C. But we help clients no matter where in the U.S. they're located. So feel free to reach out to us, or if you want to put a question in here while I'm talking, feel free to do that, and I will do my best to answer that for you. If you know other people that have immigration questions, please make sure to share this with them. Maybe they can hop on while I'm talking. Also follow us on Facebook and TikTok, like us on Facebook. We're also on Instagram. We are on YouTube. We just started our channel recently, so make sure you like our channel as well. We're at Agarwal Immigration on all platforms. Okay? Awesome. Well, put your questions in while I'm talking. I'm going to start off with, why would my VAWA application be denied? Or what are the reasons my VAWA application might be denied? There are several reasons why your VAWA application might be denied, but one of the main reasons is not providing enough evidence of a real marriage and not providing enough details on the abuse in your marriage, having an incomplete declaration. So I would suggest, if you're filing a VAWA application, which is essentially protection or an application to remain in the U.S., to have a work permit, and perhaps even a green card application along with that, I would suggest working with an attorney to make that happen. You want to work with an attorney to make that happen because these applications are complicated. You want them to be strong and complete. Okay, give us a call if you have any questions. If we can help you with your VAWA application, you can reach us at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. My name is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney. I help clients all throughout the United States with their applications. Okay, let's talk about some other reasons why a VAWA application might be denied. Missing a deadline, right? Missing a deadline for application. So most VAWA applications, if you're still married to your abusive spouse, or if you're filing based on another kind of abuser, you won't have a deadline. But some people have to file within 2 years of either the death or the divorce from their spouse. So if you file after your spouse has passed away, then they can't process your application, right? Or if you file 2 years after the divorce, they can't process your application. So what you want to do is make sure that you are aware of any kind of applicable deadlines, that you're aware of the documents that are required, that you're filing for and taking advantage of all the benefits that you might get. Remember, work authorization, travel authorizations, green card application can all be filed with your VAWA if you're eligible. So you want to make sure that you're eligible and that you reach out or work with a law firm if you can to help you prepare this application, to make sure it's as strong as possible, to get you in status, to get you that work permit. We would love to help you. Call us 703-348-1663. My name is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney. I help clients all throughout the United States. Okay. Another question we get, sorry, I see here. Thank you, Jay Palacios, for sharing this. Again, as I mentioned, I'm in Arlington, Virginia, which is outside of DC, but I come on here once in a while to answer your questions, to kind of bring up some topics that come up in our office, and I think, that might help you. So I'm here to answer your questions live. If you know other people that have immigration questions, some concerns, feel free to share this with them. Again, my name is Pratibha Agarwal, and I am streaming on several platforms right now, so I'm kind of going between them to answer your questions. So wherever you want to follow us, let me know. Okay. Okay. Someone is saying, I filed for asylum and I was gay, and now I want to marry a girl. Is it okay if I get married? Well, one, you want to make sure that everything in your asylum application was truthful and accurate, right? So if you no longer need your asylum application, it still might be an issue because you don't want to do anything that conflicts with the facts in your asylum application. But in your asylum application, if you said you were bisexual and you were being persecuted because of that, or if something changed recently such that your preferences are different, and you can explain that, I think that's fine. But really what's important is to make sure that the facts in your asylum application are truthful, that they weren't made up, and that you're not doing anything to kind of negate the strength of that application. I hope that's helpful to you. Hello. Thank you, folks, for following us. I'm on here regularly, so if you have immigration questions or know others that do, please share this with them. And also, make sure you like us, follow us, so you're notified when I'm live. Okay? How long is it taking right now when you apply for adjustment of status to get an EAD? EAD is a work permit that comes along with a green card application, and right now it's taking between 6 months to 8 months, sometimes much faster, to get that physical card that will let you work anywhere in the United States. If we can help you with your green card application, call us. You can reach us 703-348-1663. I'm Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney, and we help clients with all types of immigration applications. Okay? Is a police report required to apply for a VAWA self-petition? Is a police report required to apply for a VAWA self-petition? No. Right? No. So most of the VAWA applications that we prepare have a lot of emotional abuse, not just physical abuse, right? And sometimes police reports are associated with domestic violence, with physical abuse. If that's there, it can be helpful, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's required. Okay? So as long as we have enough details of the abuse, we will ask you, if you work with our firm, we'll have a long call where we go through all of the details. We ask you a whole bunch of questions to make sure we don't leave anything out, and all you have to do is be truthful and give us as much information as you can remember, and we will draft all these details in your declaration. So a strong declaration alone can be enough evidence of abuse for a VAWA application. Sometimes we do supplement it with like a psychological evaluation, but we have received approvals. Many applications are approved without a police report and without any more evidence than just a very detailed declaration that our firm will help you put together after talking with you to support your application. Okay, give us a call if we can help you, 703-348-1663. All right, does a denial of a VAWA application lead to deportation? Does a denial of a VAWA application lead to deportation? So currently, if you don't have other criminal issues, the case won't necessarily go to immigration court, right? If you might be denied because your application just isn't strong enough or you haven't provided enough evidence. But if you don't have any other criminal issue or any other factor that could aggravate your case and put you in removal proceedings, then there's no reason you would be put in removal proceedings. If you just are here without status, let's say your status expired or you entered illegally and you applied for VAWA and it was denied, then you're back to where you were before. Okay? I encourage you, however, to be truthful in everything that you provide in the application, to make sure that we make it as strong as possible, because we want it to be approved. We don't want it to be postponed or denied. All right. Sorry, here, let me kind of scroll through. I'm like missing some questions here. Jigar Patel says, I want to do a VAWA application. Absolutely, yes. So a VAWA application is for people. Most of the cases we do, people are married to an abusive spouse who is a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, and that abuse can be emotional, it can be physical. It most of the time is not physical. It's more emotional, psychological, verbal abuse, manipulation about your immigration status, so a lot of things of that nature, right? So that abuse can make you eligible to apply on your own for a green card. So we will work with you to put together all the documents to show that your marriage was real, that it wasn't just for immigration purposes, and we will also help you prepare the declaration that is one of the main parts of your VAWA application. Okay, so once we put all of that together, we'll work with you to get all the documents together. We'll give you all the documents to review so you can confirm that everything is accurate and looks good to mail. Once we mail it, in about 6 to 8 months, you'll get a work permit and also travel authorization if we apply for a green card at the same time. And then in about 2 to 2.5 years, you should expect to receive a green card. You'll have a green card interview, and hopefully shortly thereafter, you'll also get your green card and be able to live permanently in the U.S. You'll be able to work permanently in the U.S., maybe even travel to your home country. So call us if you want to do a VAWA application, if you want to have a consultation to talk about it. We are happy to help. You can reach us at 703-348-1663. V Bright Smile says, what does it mean when you passed your naturalization test, but you have to wait for them to reach out to you? Sometimes, so actually, usually when you would go to your citizenship exam, some people will get an oath ceremony the same day. It just depends on the center, the service center that you're going to. And because, of COVID, things have gotten a little bit more complicated. But basically, once you pass your naturalization exam, they're going to run a couple more background checks to make sure everything lines up, that there are no issues. And if you were truthful with everything that you provided and you provided a complete application, you have nothing to worry about, right? So you passed your naturalization test. It doesn't mean anything if they say, let's wait for us to reach out to you, unless the officer indicated that there were some things that they were concerned about. If there are, they might then send you a document or of sorts, right? They might then send you a document asking you for more evidence or asking you for proof of something you might have mentioned during your interview. That doesn't mean you're not going to pass. We actually just had one of our clients get citizenship, right? We had just had one of our clients get citizenship after getting a request for evidence after his citizenship exam, which he passed. He passed it. They needed a few more things. We helped him get that ready, and we submitted it, and he got approved. He wasn't sure if he was going to get it, and we were able to help him get his citizenship, which is very, very exciting. So if we can help you with your citizenship or with your immigration applications, call us 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. All right, sorry, I'm flipping through. Hey, about after fingerprints to get citizenship interviews, how long will it take to get a 10-year green card? So this question doesn't exactly make sense. So I think you mean about after you give your fingerprints, right? After you give your fingerprints, how long does it take to get a 10-year green card? Usually, it depends on how you're applying, right? It depends on how you're applying. Do you have marriage-based? Are you applying through a child? So it depends a little bit on that. But let's say you have your fingerprints. Most of the time, the interview will be about 6 months after the fingerprints or so. The total might be a year to a year and a half max, the total time from the time that you applied. You'll get an interview if it requires an interview, but no, many cases are getting approved without interview. Okay? Many cases are getting approved without interview, so it helps to have a strong application from the beginning. So if we can help you with your green card application, call us 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. My name is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney. I help clients all throughout the United States with their immigration applications. So call us, even abroad. Some of our clients are abroad. They're not here in the U.S., and we can still help you with coming into the U.S. or bringing other folks into the U.S. that are not abroad. Okay? Vivek is asking a question that might be a little too complicated for here, but let me see if I can give you a quick answer. Vivek, thank you for your question. Thanks for joining. If I am working for employer A and have an approved I-140 from employer B, can I continue to work for employer A using B's I-140? So, no. That's your question is no. The answer, based on just this quick thing, I would say maybe schedule a consultation with me. But the employer that is sponsoring that you're working for needs to have some kind of you have to have a visa or some kind of green card or something like let me go back. If you have an H-1B, right? Most of the people in these situations have an H-1B. So if you have an approved I-140 from employer B and employer A has an H-1B for you, you can work with employer A. So the approved I-140 doesn't do anything. In fact, you are still considered cap exempt. That means you don't have to submit yourself to the lottery, to the H-1B lottery for working with employer A. So you can just continue working as long as you're eligible to renew your H-1B beyond the 6 years, right? Once a green card becomes available for you, you wouldn't then be eligible to renew beyond 6 years. Okay, so that's with regard to your H-1B. So your employer would need to have an H-1B for that to happen, right? But if you got your green card, for example, from employer B, and you've already gone through the process and it's been approved, right? If you got your green card from employer B, then it's a green card. A green card is a green card. You're no longer limited to working only with employer B. I would say continue to work with employer B at least for 6 months or so, just so it doesn't look like you use them for a green card, like it wasn't a real job opportunity, right? So just to kind of allay any allegations of fraud, if you can continue to work in the position that they sponsored you for, I would do that for about 6 months at least, maybe a year if you can pull that. And then you can go work for employer A, and your green card is your green card. It's not limited by the employer. All right, Vivek, I'm not sure if I answered your question because I wasn't sure exactly what it was, but I think I did my best to answer it. Let me give you another scenario. So you were working with employer B and you had an H-1B with employer B. They also sponsored your I-140. Okay, Vivek is sharing a little bit more details. Okay, I'm working for A on H-1B and will max out. Okay, all right, perfect. This is very helpful. All right, so if you have an approved I-140 from employer B and you're working on your H-1B with employer A and they've sponsored it properly and all of that, then you can still you can go beyond the 6 years with that previous I-140. Yes, correct. Yes, you can use the employer B's I-140 to work for employer A, but you're not using employer B's I-140, right? You're just using the I-140 to go beyond 6 years. Does that make sense? So employer B still needs their own, employer A would still need their own H-1B, but you're still cap exempt, meaning you don't have to enter back into the lottery to go beyond the 6 years. So there's not necessarily a maxing out. And if then employer A wants to sponsor you, then they would have to do their own I-140. I think I answered your question. So if you still have questions, ask me. But basically, that the I-140 will let you extend your H-1B beyond 6 years, even if it's not with the same employer. Okay? Hope that helps. If I can help you with additional kind of green card, employment-based green card questions or any kind of green card questions, give us a call, 703-348-1663. All right. Great. Hi, Ara. Nice to see you. Ara was one of our wonderful team members and has left our firm recently. We miss her, but she's here watching us on live, which is so exciting. All right. Tirza is saying, how do I apply for a France visa? All right, this is great because this is an example of essentially we can't help with visas to France because we only do U.S. immigration. So if you have any questions related to staying in the United States legally or bringing someone from abroad into the United States and ways to do that, whether it's employment, whether it's humanitarian cases or family-based matters where you're sponsoring other family members to be near you, we can help with that. But anything beyond that to other countries, we don't usually deal with. Okay? All right. Do I have to remain married to an abusive partner while I have a VAWA application pending? Do I have to remain married to an abusive partner while my VAWA application is pending? No, right? No. So you have to file your VAWA within 2 years of a divorce. But let's say you already filed your VAWA and green card application, you can get divorced because it's already pending. So you've already kind of met that deadline requirement. So if filing that empowers you, because many people will get a work permit, travel authorization by filing a VAWA-based green card, then you don't have to necessarily stay married to an abusive spouse. Okay, I hope that helps. I hope that helps answer some of your questions on that. What about, can I file a VAWA if my spouse does not have a green card or is not a U.S. citizen? So can I file a VAWA if my spouse is on an H-1B, for example? No, you cannot file a VAWA application based on marriage to someone on an H-1B, an L-1, or any other kind of temporary visa, right? But if there's domestic violence, if there's abuse, you have other benefits potentially available to you. So people, for example, who are here in the U.S. married to someone with an H-1B and they're facing abuse, they might be eligible based on that abuse to apply for a work permit. Right? Sometimes you're not eligible to receive a work permit when your spouse has an H-1B. So if you're here as a dependent, you might not be eligible to receive a work permit. But if your spouse is abusive, you can apply for a work permit and you have a basis for that. Okay? Call us if we can help you with that. 703-348-1663. If you are married to someone like on H-1B or some kind of work visa that's temporary, not a green card, right, you might still have options available to you like a U visa for domestic violence, and that will give you an option to remain in the U.S. You might even be able to work in the U.S. through that, and also ultimately, if approved, apply for a green card and citizenship. So it could be a pathway to citizenship. If you are married to somebody who's abusive, there's domestic violence, there's domestic abuse, then you might be able to still apply for other types of protection, even if that person is not a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, even if your spouse is not a U.S. citizen or a green card holder. So remember, for VAWA, your spouse has to be a U.S. citizen or a green card holder. But if you are in an abusive marriage, you might have protections available to you no matter what type of status the abuser has. They could have no status even, right? They could have no status at all, but if you're in a situation where you're facing domestic violence, you can ask for protection. There are ways for you to receive immigration protection, which can ultimately lead to a green card and citizenship if you report that abuse. Okay, so if you or someone you know is experiencing something like this, feel free to reach out to us. We can help you with that. We can help you gain status and gain independence here in the U.S. We're at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. Okay. What will happen if I win my VAWA case? What happens if I win my VAWA case? So if you just filed a VAWA without a green card, this means you can live in the U.S. forever, pretty much, and that you can work in the U.S. legally forever. But if you also filed a VAWA application and a green card application, and that green card application is approved, then you get a green card, and then later you can apply for citizenship also. Okay, so that's what happens if you win. It's a huge benefit to people that are in bad situations. They can take advantage of it and make their lives in the U.S. more stable, more certain, and safe, hopefully. Okay. All right, while I was like chit-chatting over here, there were lots of questions. Fatima says, hello ma'am, my husband is trying to control my life and he is threatening me that he will file the tax file without mentioning that I am his spouse. Will it create a problem if I want to file for VAWA? Absolutely not, right? Absolutely not, Fatima. No, it will not create a problem for you to file for VAWA if your husband is doing something illegal, right? As long as we have proof that you're married, that your marriage is real, not just for immigration purposes. Right, and that could be birth certificates of children, that could be photographs from the wedding, it could be just things with both your names on it, like a bank account or something showing your mail, showing your address, mail showing his address. So all of these different ways, and we can work with you to figure out exactly what might be a good, strong pieces of evidence for you, so we can work with you to do that just based on your particular situation, because it's not uncommon for people in abusive marriages to not have their names on a bank account, to not have their names on the lease, right? So there are other ways to show that you were married, that the marriage was real, that you lived with your spouse, and that's all required for a VAWA. So if he does something, that's just evidence of abuse. Okay, if he doesn't put your name on the application, that's just evidence of abuse. So if you want to reach out to us, I would love to chat with you more. You can call us at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663, and we can help you with your VAWA application. All right. Okay. I have had an I-130 petition for a spouse since February 2020, and the case says that it's actively processing. Is this weird? Yes. So usually I-130 applications, which basically is the first step in a green card process, especially for a marriage-based green card, that usually is approved in the U.S., I would say, in under a year. So if you haven't received anything, then maybe you didn't have the right evidence, maybe you didn't provide the right documents. So at that point, it might take a little bit longer. So if you'd like, you can schedule a consultation with our firm. We could perhaps request your file, review it, and let you know how to either refile, make it stronger, hopefully we get it back in like 6 months to a year, and move forward with your green card application. Okay, call us for a consultation if you'd like, 703-348-1663. How long does NVC take to schedule an appointment? So basically, NVC is the part of the government that basically helps with the green card process when the person that you want to bring over is abroad, right? So what is NVC? So NVC stands for National Visa Center, and once your petition here in the U.S. is approved, the case gets transferred over to the National Visa Center, and they collect documents, and they have the person abroad fill out an immigrant visa application there. And once they've got everything, that's when they transfer it over to the embassy, where the person will come over to the interview. So once they've got everything, it usually depends on the embassy, but I'm going to say it takes at least about 6 months or so to get an interview at the embassy abroad. Okay? Call us if we can help you with your green card, 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. Someone says, I got asylum approved last April. Congratulations. Can I travel outside the U.S. if it's not my home country? Yes, I think you can, but be careful. We want to make sure that you don't do anything that goes against what you might have said in your asylum application. All right. Dapa Deva says, is the F2B case moving forward? It's not been moving forward since 2019. Just take a look. Take a look. It's really, ours have been moving. So check the visa bulletin and it will tell you what exactly they're currently processing. Okay. If the NTA shows that you are an arriving alien, is this a legal entry in the U.S.? So there are a couple, this is actually a very complicated question, right? If you're an arriving alien, that means you're already a green card holder and that you are basically being paroled into the U.S. So I would need to see the NTA and know what your status is, but if you essentially came to the U.S. with a visa, then that is a legal entry, right? If you came with a visa and it is your visa, then generally that is a legal entry. Another form of legal entry is if you have parole in the U.S. So if you have advanced parole or a reentry permit, that's basically allowing you to enter the U.S., even humanitarian parole in many of these cases. Recently, especially with people from the Ukraine or people from Afghanistan, then you can enter the U.S. legally with parole, right? So it's usually a visa or a parole to make it a legal entry. So I wouldn't say what the NTA necessarily says, and certain green card holders can be considered to be paroled in when they're coming in, so they never actually lost status or they're not seeking admission. They're basically considered paroled into the US. So I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to. I don't know what your status is, so I'm not sure which section it is, but if you want to schedule a consultation, I'd be happy to take a look. But I would say, as a general rule, think of a visa to consider a legal entry, or maybe even parole to be considered a legal entry, okay? You can call us 703-348-16663. If I'm in removal proceedings and I'm not appearing in court, can I ask for prosecutorial discretion? Yes. Yeah, of course. Prosecutorial discretion means that it's in the government's best interest not to move forward with this. You're not a risk to society. There's all these different factors that can help you, that can help prevent you from being deported. So basically you're asking the government not to continue with your removal proceedings. So just leave it as be. Let me just stay where I am. If I have an asylum application pending, they're not going to decide that asylum application, but they'll just continue giving you work permits and whatnot. Okay, I hope that helps. Give us a call if we can help. 703-348-1663. Vindy says, can you expedite your U visa? Will they give you a bona fide or a U visa? So there's no expedite option for U visas, unfortunately. So U visas are for victims of crime that have reported to the police and that are willing to cooperate with the police or the adjudicators in prosecuting a crime. So unfortunately, the expedite options are mostly for employment-based business visas and business-based green cards. Okay, give us a call if we can help you. 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. How do you change an address if you haven't received a receipt notice? You can create an account on the USCIS website and update your address there, or you can just call customer service, provide your name, and update your address there as well. All right, I think I answered most of your questions. I apologize if I haven't. Ooh, I'm sorry, I got a lot of messages, huh? I apologize if I didn't get to your questions, but I will be on again. I hope you join me again. If you haven't actually followed us on Facebook, liked us on Facebook, followed us on TikTok. We're also on Instagram. We're also on YouTube, and we just are starting to get some questions on YouTube, which is really exciting. Feel free to hop on here, follow us on our social media platforms. Again, we're at Agarwal Immigration on most platforms. If we can help you with a consultation, please reach out to us at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. Thank you so much, and I will see you again very soon. My name again is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration lawyer. I'm kind of right outside Washington, D.C., but our clients are all throughout the United States and abroad. Okay, and I would love to talk to some of you at a consultation, so feel free to give us a call, or even if you want to schedule, you can go on our Facebook page or on our website, agarwalimmigration.com, to see my schedule and get your consultation right through there. All right, otherwise I'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a good evening. Bye.